Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you can probably tell by the title, these are going to be some of the candles I did from the exchanges. So I bought candles on candle day. They didn't have some of the candles I had on my list, so I just got candles to be able to exchange when they got them in. Spoiler alert, still no wine cellar, and no comfort from the aromatherapy line, the vanilla patchouli. They just don't have those two in. I really want some of the comfort vanilla patchouli ones, but sadly there is still no luck in that department. I've put my name down for the store closest to me to see when they get it. And I mean, they have like still a huge overstock of stress relief from Candle Day, and they just keep getting that one in. They don't even have like the energy, the happiness, in candle form. I mean, in body care they have just about everything, but in terms of candles from the aromatherapy line, the ones that they only, I mean, they have the love one, which I do really enjoy. Um, but I'm not a fan of the stress relief at all. So that one's not going to be part of the exchanges at all. So I'm just going to move my candles closer to me. I have them right to the side of me. So I did 6 exchanges out of the 10 that I had to do. I found some candles I needed to exchange from like spring and summer. My apologies. From um, just bad burns. When I say puny wicks, I mean I can't even light them anymore. And thankfully they were all, for the most part, at the 50% point, 50% mark, and then most of them actually were still above the 50% mark, thankfully. So I didn't have any problems exchanging them. So there's that, and then I had a single wick I needed to exchange. Sadly, it was one of the sweater weather candles I got in the single wick. I burned it 3 times and it would just never fully pull out, even when I put it in the Yankee Candle large jar holder that's supposed to like help insulate the heat. I even tried it with some tinfoil and it still just would not pull out. So I just decided that I was going to take it back, get another one. Sadly, they don't have it in the single wick anymore, so I did have to get a different single wick, which is the thing I'm going to show you first, and I have 6 3-wicks right now. I still have the 4 that I was going to exchange for the comfort ones, and then I have 3 of them to exchange for the comfort vanilla patchouli, and then I have 1 to exchange for the low profile twisted peppermint. And someone's alarm is going off, so I'm just gonna have to go take care of that really quick. I'll try and make it as fast as I can, and then I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Someone's alarm was going off. And if I could hear it, I'm sure most of y'all would be able to hear it on the video, so I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to go ahead and dismiss the alarm and everything since they're not even here right now to do it themselves. So anyway, I'm going to start with the single wick. Or going backtracking to where I was at. I have 3 to exchange for the comfort vanilla patchouli scent, and I have the low profile twisted peppermint. I just want to do an even exchange for another low profile twisted peppermint. I haven't burned it or anything. It's just when I bought it on Candle Day, I didn't inspect it right, and I didn't inspect it rather until we were in the car, and it hadn't been in a crate or anything. It's the low profile one, so it wouldn't fit. So it was in a bagging of its own, and it has like a decent sized scratch mark on it, and I bought that one specifically for the packaging. I love Twisted Peppermint, but I got that 3-wick specifically for the beautiful picture on it, and they still haven't gotten that one back in stock. So as soon as they get that one and the Comfort Vanilla Patchouli, I'll exchange the last 4 I have, and I'll probably do like a part 2 to this type of video. So that I'm 4 minutes in and I haven't showed you anything. I'll go ahead and start with a single wick candle I did for the sweater weather. I got Campfire Donut, and this, I love this packaging. I love the blue plaid flannel, love the lettering made with, I wish this would have just been taken off. I mean, we all know, most people by now, that they don't really use essential oils in them. I have a theory that they put like less than 1%, because I don't think that they could say that there's essential oils in it and there not be. I don't know, maybe I'm just being crazy, but I really don't think that they can put essential oils on it if it doesn't actually have essential oils in the candle. But with things like Campfire Donut, Campsite Coffee, which I hate, by the way, because it's just Paris Cafe, and I hate Bath & Body Works coffee scents, at least all the ones I've smelled thus far. And most of them are the exact same, just Paris Cafe with different names. But bringing it back in, scents like these, it's like, really, what essential oil are you using in those? But um, anyway, bringing it back in, I love the label. I love the little squirrel. I wish this would have been the Campfire donut packaging for the winter, and the whole Camp Winter 2.0 collection, like Frozen Lake, got re-released in it. With the little squirrel on it, I think this would have been perfect in that collection. Or give us a hand soap. I would die if we ever got this in a hand soap. This beautiful little squirrel on it, holding its little lantern. With the little blue plaid packaging at the bottom, the little wood around the lake. I love everything about this. And as soon as this is gone, this time I'm just going to melt it down into wax brittle. And once it's done, I'm going to paint the inside of it white so I can keep it, because I just love the label so much. The notes on it are, if I can get it to focus, powdered sugar, glazed donut, and cedar wood with essential oils. Soy blend of wax, lead-free wicks. Retails for $14.50. Almost always on sale for 2 for $16. Not the best deal ever. 7 ounces. This batch is K3A1. Mason jar candle. Sorry about that. Mason jar candle, 1 wick. It's got like a bunch of these like bubbles on it, and I haven't seen a white candle with like marks on it like that ever before. It smells just like Campfire donut. If you've ever smelled Campfire donut, to me it smells. I've never smelled this candle, but I've heard that this is a repackage of chestnut glazed croissant. And the reason I believe it full-heartedly without ever even smelling the original is one time I was burning this last year when it first came out. I was actually burning them before I, chopped candles up. Which, by the way, the first time this came out in Campfire Donut, the burn was horrendous in the Camp Winter collection. But bringing it back in, my mom asked me if I was burning, and my brother actually asked me if I was burning something with chestnuts in it. And I can't like necessarily pick up chestnut specifically, but I mean, they were able to when it was burning and everything. So I mean, I guess there's chestnuts in this. I mean, if the two of them were able to pick it up, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is just a repackage of it, and that's what the consensus seems to be. So I mean, I believe it. So I love the packaging, I love the candle, love the fragrance, but typically the candles with a lot of colorant in them, like vampire blood, tends to have these little, like, I don't know what it is. It's not that it's like dry or anything. It's just really weird. I'm trying to get it as close. You see all those like bumps? It looks like a brain almost. But I've never seen that with like a pure white candle. I mean, it doesn't even look too off-white-ish to me. But anyway, that's the single wick I did. This exchange. I love this candle. I have 2 3-wicks that I can chop up whenever I want in the original Campfire donut packaging from the Camp Winter collection. I have 1 in my collection. I'm hoping to maybe get a test. I'm not hoping to maybe. I'm really hoping to be able to find just one, honestly, just at least 1 tester candle in it for semi-annual sale, so I can move my 3-wick out of my collection and keep on to the little tester candle. I'm going to do a whole video about SAS soon. I hope to, at least. Pardon me, I'm still, my nose is just really stuffy today for whatever reason. It's not allergies anymore. I'm over that, thank God. I don't have any allergies going on. I'm not miserable anymore, but my nose, for whatever reason, is just really stuffy today, so I apologize. But anyway, I hope to get a tester candle. I'll have to go into like a whole SAS video on why tester candles are really great. And people don't really know that they're all that great anyway. But getting back to the point, I'm hoping to get a tester candle so I can move my 3-wick out of my collection. So I have 3 3-wicks and I have that. So I have just about 3.5 candles of it. Because they're constantly bringing back. I don't feel the need to stock up on it as much anymore. But maybe for SAS I might, if the other 3-wicks I want just like aren't there, or just for whatever reason, I might pick up one next fall, winter if they bring it back, just to have another one again. I don't know. I love the scent. I definitely believe it is hoard worthy, even though they are bringing it back. I'm just scared it might be like a what's a good example? A pumpkin pie situation or whatever. Which, I mean, they did bring back this year's pumpkin vanilla, but anyway, they brought that back for a few years, and then it was gone for a year or two, and then it just got brought back. So, I mean, and then sometimes they bring back scents, and they just never, like spring from, gosh, I think the last time that was 2016. That hasn't been out for 2 years now, and who knows if it's coming back. I've heard, I've heard, I can't confirm, but I've heard that there's supposed to be a candle called the Perfect Spring that's coming out, and no one's, I haven't seen packaging for it or anything. It's just kind of like word. I've heard from a few different people that might or may not be coming from Bath and Body Works. Some people hope that it's not the original spring. I actually kind of like that scent. I remember smelling it in a tester candle around this time of year last year during SAS in the tester candle form. And I mean, it was a gorgeous scent. I mean, I love that candle. So, I'm hoping that the Perfect Spring is just spring repackaged, because I would love that scent. Now that we're 10 minutes in, I've only showed you one tester candle. I'm going to speed this up. I'll do this one because there is a story with this one, and I'll try and make it fast. This is the only one with like any real story to it, but I got Red Velvet Cupcake. This was released in the whole Candle Day collection. I love this scent. To me, this doesn't have any cream cheese in it. Just for those wondering, I mean, I smelled this side by side with Frosted Cupcake from the Sweet Shop collection at Bath and Body Works, and to me, they're not exactly the same, but they are very, very similar. I can't do much about the glare, so my apologies. The notes on this are lush red velvet cake, cream cheese frosting, and sweet vanilla. To me, it smells like if you took Frosted Cupcake from Bath and Body Works and just added a hint, and I mean like a hint of cocoa powder to it. I do actually really enjoy that fragrance. It's just maybe a tinge more than Frosted Cupcake, actually. But the thing about that was not on the floor or in any of the bins or anything that they had at my White Barn combo store, the one that's closest to me. A lady was actually bringing it back and doing it in exchange for a different candle. So she brought the Red Velvet Cupcake in. My apologies, to do an exchange for whatever candle I didn't see. She brought like 3 candles back, and this was one of them. And I had asked the other associate when I was doing my exchanges, because I was just going to go back on the floor and try and find something else. Maybe I probably would have just gotten like another watermelon lemonade, maybe in the spoiler alert, or maybe another one of the 2 candles I showed you. I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave the other one as like a surprise, I guess. But bringing it back in, I asked the other associate doing the exchange if she knew if it was unburnt, and she showed it to me. I was like, okay, after she's done exchanging it, can I get it with one of my exchanges? And she's like, yeah, sure. So I'm very excited that I got that one. I only got 2 for Candle Day. One is in my collection, one is to chop up. I'm glad I have another one because I was wanting to get some for SAS, but just seeing how it's not being restocked, is at least as of yet, it hasn't been restocked at all. Sorry, I'm having to get rid of notifications. I really wanted to get this one, and I needed to get another candle with one of my exchanges anyway. I was just going to get something random, most likely, but I was juggling between like a toasted s'mores, which is just cinnamon pretzel twist. I was juggling between that and then the 2 that I have here. So yeah, I decided to get the Red Velvet Cupcake. As soon as I saw she was exchanging it, it was unburned and everything. I was so happy to see it, so I snatched that one right up. So I love that candle, highly recommend it. I can't speak to the burn because I haven't even chopped mine up yet, but there's that. So I'm going to go on to the next candle I bought, and I'll do that one next. I'll start with this one since I already mentioned it. Hi! That was really awkward of me, sorry. Hi, how are you doing? Just want to stop by and say hi. Well, hello. How's your day going? So, do you like the candles you're seeing so far? I'm just doing some of my Candle Day exchanges that I bought for Candle Day, and I did some exchanges. Great. Good to hear. I'm glad you're having a really great day. So I'm just showing the candles I got from Bath and Body Works yesterday from exchanges I had from Candle Day. Sadly, they didn't have the Comfort Vanilla Patchouli or the Low Profile Twisted Peppermint for me to do exchanges for, but this is what I've showed so far. I really am. Thank you. I really am glad with everything I bought. I'm really glad that I was able to find the one I'm going to save for last is the one I'm the most excited for, because that was on my Candle Day list and they just didn't have any. So jumping back on into it, believe it or not, I've never picked up this candle before, but I've loved this candle for a very long time, and it's Watermelon Lemonade. This is probably one of my favorite summer scents, definitely up there. The notes are watermelon ice, sparkling water, Meyer lemon. It's not sparkling as in like a fizzy pop. or like a ginger ale or anything, but there's definitely is something else there. It's like a watermelon Jolly Rancher like syrup type smell with a very tart, juicy lemonade. And I like my lemonades to be, when I actually drink lemon, I do drink lemonade quite often, especially in the summer. Oh, going off a quick tangent, blueberry lemonade is one of my favorite lemonades I make. I make the simple syrup by hand, like from scratch and everything. It's amazing, fantastic, and I will never share that recipe. As soon as I die, everyone can have the recipe because my cousin actually asked. I made some for my own birthday, and she asked me for the recipe, and I said, "Yeah, no." um, I made the recipe, all up in my own head. It's one of the first recipes I actually made, like, without any base to it. But getting back to watermelon lemonade, Sonic actually, if you get a lemonade, have them put watermelon in it, and it's actually really nice. Me and my mom both really love it for the summer. So I got watermelon lemonade. I've never bought it before, so this one's going straight into my collection because I don't have one yet. Hoping to maybe get a tester candle for Candle Day. I love this packaging. As soon as I saw this was coming out for Candle Day, I knew I wanted it. I just, for some reason, I blinked in the store and I just didn't pick it up. But I mean, between the pink wax, like this is a jar that I would paint after I'm done with it just to keep the jar because it's so beautiful. I love the watermelons on the side, like the artsy watermelon and the little lemon over here. I love it so much. So there's watermelon lemonade. It's an amazing scent. They bring it back quite often. I mean, even multiple times a year, especially in spring and summer, sometimes in multiple collections at the same time. So I just never felt the need to like get any or stock up on it because I've always known in the back of my head they're just going to bring it back anyway. But I've never had one before. I'm glad to have one now. Hopefully I can get a tester candle for Candle Day and I can chop this one up and enjoy it for summer. The next one I'm going to go into, quick story with this one too. I didn't even smell this one on Candle Day. I've heard some people say that this one smells different from the one that was released on Candle Day. I can't speak to that because A, I don't own the one from Candle Day, and B, I didn't smell it. It just didn't really interest me at the time. For whatever reason, I don't know. The notes in it just sound so similar to Strawberry Sorbet from the Sweet Shop collection / Strawberry Vanilla, Strawberry Picnic / Saltwater Taffy. I mean, all those different scents, all the same scent, at least from what I hear. That I just wasn't really interested in it. But, I had an exchange to do. I saw it in this packaging released with the Elite collection, like with the... Goodness, what is it with? It may or may not be with Villa Bergamot. I don't know for sure. I think it is. And, I remember this scent specifically. I want it to come back just so I can smell it. It was, it failed test, and it was, pizza something. I don't know if it was called anything other than pizza or... It was something pizza from the Italian collection, I think 2013, 2014, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the packaging on it was so nice, and it failed test, so I've always wanted to smell it. It's just when people sell it, I mean, they're selling it for like $75 a piece, and that's the cheapest I've seen it, so I've never, wanted to pay that much just to smell a pizza candle, but I mean, if it, comes out for SAS and I can get it for $8 after coupon and sale, I mean, I'll definitely pick at least one up, just to have one in my collection. I mean, who doesn't want a pizza candle? I mean, maybe not to burn or to melt and have in your home. I mean, some people, that might be their thing. Who knows? It might even be my thing. I've never smelt a pizza candle, but bring it back in. Trying to bring it back to the scent. They had this one hiding in the little corner of the store, and I would have missed it if I wasn't smelling all the other like newer candles. And that is the Gelato from Bath and Body Works. This is one of the original packages it came out in, and I love this packaging so much more than the one that came out for Candle Day. The one that came out for Candle Day just kind of looked cheap, I guess. Not bad. I mean, definitely not their worst packaging. I mean, have you seen their quotable candles? But this one is just so nice. I just couldn't pass it up. Sorry about that. Notes on this are a creamy sweet blend of raspberry and strawberry with an effervescent spun sugar finish becomes the perfect fragrance indulgence. Bravo, bravo. This is when they had like those cute little story things on their 3 wicks, and I miss those. I love reading them. I I think they're kind of stupid. I think they're kind of, childish, but I like them. I think they're really funny in a lot of ways. But this candle, and honestly, you do get. There is definitely, and it's not too much in the forefront of the candle, but you definitely do pick up that strawberry sorbet type of base, like that very artificial strawberry, like saltwater taffy. I think that's the best name for it. Strawberry sorbet doesn't really fit it because it's not really creamy or ice cream like or vanilla-y. But it does have that very like chewy, artificial, sugary, syrupy, sweet. Excuse me. Strawberry sorbet, strawberry, Laffy Taffy feel in the background, but to the forefront of it, it's like you mix that candle with. If you've never had this ice cream before, you won't know what I'm talking about, and it won't make as much sense. But try and imagine it anyway. There was a Sour Patch Kid ice cream. I don't know if they still have it. I know they had it over the summer, at least in the Walmart that I was at. And that was some of the best ice cream I've ever had. It was like a lemonade ice cream, but it was too creamy to really be an ice cream. It was more of like a sorbet, like an actual sorbet. Not quite like a gelato, not like as thick as a gelato would be. But it was definitely very, very creamy, like a, I just said it too, and it just escaped my mind. What was it? It's very creamy, like a sorbet, sherbet, whatever you want to call it. That's what it very much so reminds me of, is that type of very lemony, sweet, not too tart, but still there type of creaminess from the gelato, mixed with like the Sour Patch Kids. And that's where like that raspberry, like that blue raspberry Sour Patch Kids, they had chopped up pieces of those in there. That's what this candle reminds me of, is that ice cream foremost, and then strawberry sorbet in the background. Even smelling it now, that's what comes to mind. I love this. I don't love it, like I wouldn't like get 20 of these, but I could definitely see myself picking up between 1 to 2, maybe 3 during the semi-annual sale. Maybe that might, 3 is probably pushing it, but this one will stay in my collection because I don't have one yet, and I love the packaging. I love everything about this candle for the most part. I just wish it would be more prominent on that like blue raspberry Sour Patch Kids feel, because there is something very tart about this candle that I do enjoy. And that, the creaminess is, nice, refreshing scent. This would be perfect, honestly, for people who are like seasonal burners, seasonal melters. This would be perfect for like, late spring, trying to go into, all of summer. That'd be my recommendation for this scent. I enjoy it. I would probably pick up a few more for semi-annual sale, or a couple more, because few is 3 to 4, and I'm definitely not there, but maybe at least a couple, so 2, maybe 3 of this candle. I love this one, so there's that. And the last one is just 3 of the same, so I'm not gonna like read the notes all of them because they're the exact same scent. So there's 1, 2, and 3. I'm about to move them all into the frame. So as you can see, for whatever reason, I guess some people might not believe me if I only showed you 1, but there's 2, there's 3 of the Relaxed Lavender Cedarwood. I was finally able to get my hands on this. So this one also has a fairly quick story. This story is not the greatest, because this is probably my favorite store to go to, my White Barn stores where I got all these from. I called last night, and I've never once in my life at this store specifically had a problem with 24-hour holds, because when I've called customer service, I have been told time and time again, each time I've called, I've never once been told something different. Like, it's only till end of business day. Every time I've called the customer service line at Bath & Body Works, I've been told that they do 24-hour holds. So if I were to call them now, let's just say it's like 12 o'clock. If I were to call them now at 12 o'clock, they're supposed to hold that candle until 12 o'clock in the afternoon that next day. It's not till end of business day, so I don't call it, 12 now and I have to be there before closing at like 9 or 10. That's never how it's been from when I've called customer service. And I've even had, the manager at this specific store, Wendy, she's my girl, Wendy. She's told me herself that yes, they do, follow the company policy of 24-hour holds. And if, anyone on the phone ever tells you anything different, and I've never had anyone tell me different at that specific store. So I don't know what that was about, but maybe just because there's seasonal help. Um, she told me all you have to do is if I'm working, just ask for me and I'll, tell them that yes, it is 24-hour hold. Sadly for me, I end up calling later at the night. I'm calling it like maybe 8 because I was going to be in town that next day, which was, Sunday. I was going to be in the specific town. I almost said where it was. I was going to be in town, close to the Bath and Body Works, and I wanted to call just to see, and that's about to fall over, and it's giving me major stress, so I'm just going to move that back a bit. So I called just to see, see what's going on, see if they have anything. And they don't have the comfort, they don't have the low profile twisted peppermint. But when I get to the relaxed lavender cedarwood, they said, yes, we have 7 of them. And I was like, okay, great. Can I put some on hold for me to come pick up tomorrow? And I'd already, said when I called. I was like, hey, I'm calling to see if I can put some candles on hold for me to come pick up tomorrow. I should be there, 2:30 to 3 at the latest. And he's like, sure, that's, totally fine. Let's go ahead. I'm going to get a pen and paper, tell me what you want. And I was like, okay, do y'all have any, I went through the list and he's like, okay, do y'all have any of the relaxed lavender cedarwood? And he's like, yeah, we have about 7. I was like, okay, awesome. Can I put 3 of those on hold? And he goes and gets them. And, it's kind of static on the phone for a little bit because he's going and getting them, I guess. And he comes back on the phone. It's a guy who's talking to me this time, which the store hasn't had any male associates. In a very long time. I think the last one quit like last year, sometime last year. And I think there's 2 male associates working there now, which I've met one in person, and the one I was talking to on the phone sounds completely different. So that's why I think there's 2. Maybe he just had a cold, but I think there's 2 associates working there now that are guys. So the guy I'm talking to, which doesn't sound like the guy I've talked to like in the store and on the phone as well before. Anyway, that's irrelevant. So I'm getting back to the point. Um, he's he comes back and he tells me, hey, so my supervisor just told me that we aren't allowed to do 24-hour holds. And I was like, oh my goodness, this would happen to me. This would happen to me at 8 o'clock when customer service isn't open and I don't. I sent an email before about it too. And I, for the life of me, cannot find this email from customer service, with the whole case number and everything saying that yes, we do 24-hour holds. And I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to pull it up while I'm on the phone, with Bath and Body Works, talking to this guy. And I was like, are you absolutely sure? Like, I talked to Wendy before, multiple times about this, and I've never had a problem doing it before. And I was like, is this the one, at this specific Bath and Body Works? There's a few in the area. And he said, yep, this is that store. And so long story short, they wouldn't put them on hold for 24 hours, and I was told to call the next day, which in hindsight wouldn't be as bad of a deal because, I mean, it's 8 o'clock, they're about to close, within an hour or two. But I would not have been able to call them, right when they open at 10 because I had to be, I was going to a few different places and I wasn't going to be able to be on the phone because I was going to be, busy. So I called them at 9 because they're actually in there a lot earlier than when they actually open. I was like, and they don't always answer the phone, and I don't think they should necessarily have to. It's not business hours, but I called just to see if they'll pick up, and they did at 9, thankfully. Because if not, I would have been heartbroken because there was only 2. When I say 2, there was only 2 on display when I walked in. Which, I mean, this is after they already put my 3 on hold that morning. So I called them at 9. I spoke to the lady. She put them on hold. And I said, I'll be in there later today, no later than 2:33. And it was fine then. So, anyway, long story short, I talked to Wendy about it when she was, there. It was a little bit before she typically leaves. And she was still on the floor and everything. And I was like, hey, I just wanted to, double check. And she told me again, no, that's really strange. Did they happen to give you their name? And the guy, which I wish he would have, because not to get him in trouble or anything, just, let Wendy know, like, hey, you might want to tell your associates, hey, it is a 24-hour hold, right? And she was like, yep, nothing's changed. It definitely still a 24-hour hold. So she said that she was going to talk to the newer associates that didn't know. So, I mean, I guess that's something. So, and I made sure to tell her, like, and it's not like in a mean way. I don't like need to get anyone like in trouble or anything like that. It's just like I just want to make sure that that is still the current policy and nothing's changed. Because I wasn't able to call customer service at 8 because they're an Eastern, they're East Coast company, I believe, and they close a lot earlier than. I would have been able to call them on most days anyway, so anyway, bringing it back in. I'm still glad I was able to get my candles. They still had 3. I was able to put them on hold that morning, so I'm at 30 minutes. I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video. That's all I have to say. I'll go ahead and read the notes on it to you real quick. The notes on it are lavender oil inspires tranquility and cedarwood oil helps calm your mind. To me, this candle, and honestly, you would not think that I would like this because I'm not a big fan of powdery lavender scents. I tend to go more towards a sweet lavender. I can do sweet lavender by itself most of the time. And herbal lavenders I can do in a lot of blends, especially with like a sage or a rosemary or mints. I can really, appreciate and enjoy even an herbal lavender. But powdery lavender like this one is a lot harder for me to get into. But this one is done so beautifully because the sweetness from that cedarwood oil and that light woodsiness, it's not cologne at all. It's just that very sweet, sappy cedarwood mixing with that almost baby powdery type of lavender. I just really enjoy this candle, and for whatever reason, all the lids do not have the, like, as you can see, they don't have like any like the bumps on them or anything. It's just like the pistachio ice cream collection and golden jasmine and whatever from spring. So they have those type of lids on them for whatever reason. So they don't have the normal aromatherapy. So I wonder if they're going to get away from that. But I'm rambling at this point. I love the candle. I'm glad to have 1 for my collection and 2 to be able to chop up because I've never been able to pick it up in a 3-wick before. So I'm glad I have 1 now, or 2 rather, now for me to chop up, and I have 1 for my collection to last me until hopefully eventually I can, buy some for Candle Day next year, or maybe pick 1 or 2 more up for SAS as well. That was my little Candle Day exchange haul. That's all I got. So if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you have anything to say about any of the candles I have chosen to purchase, do you like any of these candles? Do you think you would like any of these candles? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, so that's all I have for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.